Alright, hello everybody. I'm going to be making a video on bolas, and while I do like them just as something to use for fun, why I don't feel like if you're stranded in the bush that you should make a pair and then try and use them. Excuse the plane. So, bolas, as you all should know, are a tool that was traditionally used by South American ranchers on horseback to capture the legs of small birds, well, I say small birds, of flightless birds called rayas, which were kind of like small ostriches. Now, in a survival situation, you're not gonna be in South America where rayas are. If you are, well, then more power to you. If you are, most likely you're going to be in a place, say, like, let's just say North America, or Europe, or a lot of Asia, where it's, you know, Russia, kind of Asia, where you're going to be faced with more or less the same general creatures. Things like deer, flighted birds like cranes and things of that nature, possibly moose, reindeer, elk, things of those natures. And yes, in theory, these can capture all of those creatures. But what you have to remember is these things... Okay, let's say you take the time... Traditionally, you would use rawhide, and you would use rawhide because rawhide is very strong. If you're using natural cordage, that is inadequate, or if, you know, as the saying goes, chain is only as strong as its weakest link. Same is true for cord. Cord is only as strong as its weakest point. And if you're making natural cordage, it's very likely that there's going to be a weak point, and there is the possibility that it can snap on you after you very luckily capture something's feet. Now, let's say you're out hunting because you're hungry, and after 20 times of trying to sneak up on a deer, you finally get up to one close enough. And remember, 20 times sneaking up on a deer, that's going to be, what, how many months? Or probably not months, but at least a couple weeks to find that many opportunities to get close to a deer. And you get up close to the deer. This one is only about a 4-foot circle if I keep the things out, the lines out. And it's only enough to go once around my legs, once all the way around my legs. And I've had people throw and capture me with this particular bola, and about 9 times out of 10 I get out of it in about 10 seconds. And that's not using my hands. That's just, you know, kicking my feet. I thought I just stepped on something. That's like kicking my feet as if I were a captured deer, because you'd really need one that's about 5 or 6 feet long in order to capture something like a deer's legs. And the problem with that is you're going to have a wind-up. It doesn't have to be too long of a wind-up, but if you have a long bola, chances are you're going to have to do a wind-up. And, you know, say you get 15 meters from or say 15 yards from a deer, and you have to capture the thing by the legs. And you imagine being that close to a deer and then having to do this. Yeah, it's gonna run by the time you get that thing around over your head and spinning around. Just that one little time to get the momentum up to actually throw it that distance. So if you put all that time into making a bola, which, remember, that's going to be all the time twisting the cord, that is taking rocks and either putting them in a pouch of some sort or taking another rock and then pecking at it to make a little ring, a groove to fit the string around so the rock won't just fall out on you. You spent all the time sneaking up on the deer. You could have made an outlotl and you would have been much better off. And you would have been much more effective at actually hunting the thing, because not only do you have to make the bola, you have to make the spear to kill the actual creature with after it's trapped, in the very unlikely event you actually successfully trap a creature with your Ebola. So that's basically it. That's why I don't feel like Ebola is a particularly good survival weapon. It's definitely good for the ranchers in South America who use it off horses to capture the rhea. It could possibly be good if the reindeer were, say, running, and you have those giant herd running by you, and you do take the time to make such a big one. But why make Ebola when you can just make an atlatl? Literally, I've went out in the bush, and in the time it takes me to make one decent atlatl, like, it'll take me at least 2 times as long to make Ebola, just given what I have to do to process the rock and to make the cordage. It's just making atlatl, you'll be much happier, and you'll be much more fed, or much more better fed than if you were to rely on Ebola. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. If you have any disagreements, feel free to share them and tell me why, but I think I'm pretty set with my opinions, and I'm done with this video finally. This is like my 17th take, so see you later.